Muy bien, muchachos. We're looking at the Plurals review, and starts with a question: which of the following are nouns? We know that nouns, los sustantivos, son personas, lugares, cosas, y también conceptos o ideas. People, places, things, ideas. All right, so denim, sand, apples, cars, ears, and popcorn. Those are all nouns, count nouns and non-count nouns. Non-count nouns are like sand and popcorn and denim and milk and air. We typically don't say 3 airs, 4 airs. We might say a room full of air or a balloon full of air or you're full of hot air, but we typically don't make those plural, kind of like popcorn. How many popcorns did you eat? Right, those have units. They're still nouns. Now, running, reading, studying, and swimming. No, those are verbs. Love, capitalism, circulation, harmony. Yeah, those are nouns. Even though they are abstracts, even though they are concepts, even though they might not be count nouns, those are nouns. Now, tall, smart, lazy, creative, purple, and scary. No, sorry, those are adjectives, okay? Not nouns. So those describe things, but they are not those things themselves. Luego, if, and, the, whatever, through, because. Now these are important little words, important parts of speech, pero tampoco no son nouns. They are not nouns. They're not people, places, things, or ideas. They might help identify or compare or talk about those, but not nouns. Your Spanish teacher, mom, students, farmers. Yeah, those are all nouns. All right. Really important nouns, too, if you ask me. All right. Finally, school, the park, your house, Periville, McDonald's. Yeah, all those places, those are nouns, too. Okay, so we need to be able to identify nouns as people, places, things, or concepts. We need to know what are not nouns as well, like adjectives, verbs, other parts of speech like prepositions, conjunctions, articles. So we know what nouns are: people, places, things, ideas. Spanish nouns, however, Spanish nouns are a little different. They're masculine or feminine. And yesterday we were looking at masculine nouns and then turning them into plural masculine nouns and feminine nouns and turning them into plural feminine nouns. In this group, in this word bank, we see some plural nouns and some singular nouns. Some of them are masculine, some of them are feminine. Ay de mi. So, la cabeza, we could start with some of the singular ones if that would be easier. La cabeza, we know that is, so that is a singular, feminine. It's your head. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to disappear it. I'm going to put it down here in the feminine. Now, how do I know it's feminine? Because it's la. All right. Mas, feminine, singular, la. La pierna, the leg. Look at some masculine singular. Ooh, a lot of body parts in this. El estómago. El, we know any noun that has the el article. También aquí el pie, el abuelo. Hey, grandpa's in this. Hey, grandpa. Grandpa's masculine, so we're putting grandpa over on this side. Now, in the plurals, el becomes los, la becomes las. So your eyeballs, that's right. Eyeballs are masculine. Hands are feminine. So el becomes los. Eyes are plural, right? You probably have two of them in your cabeza. We can tell by the plural article el and then los, those are the masculine, and then the feminine, la, las, like your two eyes, you have two hands, but hands happen to be feminine. The la mano, las manos is just the plural form. All right, so I would like you to keep going with this. Where can we put la madre? Yeah, we know mom is feminine. Los hermanos, brothers, siblings, that's masculine. Las amigas, those are friends. Friends can be masculine or feminine, but these friends happen to be all girls. Tomorrow we'll talk about what happens when your friends are boys and girls, which I hope they are. La familia, all right. Hey, family is feminine. You can see all the feminine have la and las. La nariz. All right, your nose is feminine too. Las orejas. Even if you don't remember that those are ears, you should be able to put it in the correct location on the chart. You can identify that as feminine because the article las tells us that it is. La clase. También. Feminine. Here's some more masculine. El pie. Not pie. That's not pie, it's your foot. El pie. It's one of them. Maybe it's el pie derecho. It's your right foot. Los dedos, fingers. También. Masculine. La boca. La tells us that it is feminine. All right, so part of the purpose is that you see that it doesn't matter if it's masculine or feminine. The gender, right, is going to stay with the item. And when it becomes plural, el becomes los, la becomes las. The masculine all have either el or los as the article. The feminine all have la or las as the article. Right, so check your list against mine. El and los, the masculine. Even if you don't know what the nouns mean, you forgot el pie was the foot, you can still identify that as a masculine singular noun. You may have forgotten that la nariz is the nose, but you can still identify that as a feminine singular noun. Just like you may have forgotten that los ojos are your eyes, but you can tell by the los that it is masculine plural. And then, like las amigas, those female friends, you can tell that those are feminine plural. So I was explaining this to you yesterday when we were doing the slides. The el, the la, the los, and the las carries information. So even if you don't remember exactly what the noun is, or you can't tell by the ending of the noun, like look at manos. Manos has what would appear to be a masculine ending, right? But it's feminine. We know it's feminine because las manos tells us that it is. That article is terribly important. Excelente. So the question now, what are two ways you can identify plural nouns in Spanish? Just think about that. What are two different ways you can identify plural nouns in Spanish? Look at that table. Look at all the plural nouns on there. What do they all have in common? First of all, the for plural nouns is going to be either los or las. And I know I wrote the. Either los or las. And they all end with S. So even if it's ES or CES, like lápices, all right, all plural nouns in Spanish are going to end with S. So there's no cacti. All right, so update your document, get that far. So los and las are going to help us identify masculine, feminine, plural nouns. We look at that last letter. That last letter is going to be S every single time. No cacti. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Little reminder about the 4 ways to say the: el brazo, the arm; los brazos, the arms, being plural here. Feminine side, la oreja, the ear; las orejas, the ears. All right, so el becomes los, la becomes las. The plurals end with S. A little review about masculine nouns. We see that most of them end with the letter O. El brazo, el ojo, el pecho, el estómago, right? El hermano, el hijo. I created this with body parts, but, it doesn't really matter what we're talking about. El cuaderno, el horario. And most feminine nouns end with the letter A: la oreja, la cabeza, la pierna, la boca, la familia, la abuela, la carpeta, the argollas. All right. We know also that some will break the rules, like la mano, and then some you just need to memorize. All right, la nariz, el pie, etc. All right, so on the next page, a little review of the rules for making nouns plural in Spanish. We remember el becomes los and la becomes las. If the noun ends with a vowel, we add S. If the noun ends with a consonant, we add ES. We change Z to C before adding ES. And then look for moving accent marks. Some will change when you make nouns plural. All right, so we have that on the slides from yesterday. I'm going to try not to include a lot of those. Let me see the table, which is the rest of this assignment. I have given you some singular and some plural. If I give you the singular, you need to make it plural. Follow the rules. And then if I give you the plural, you need to work backwards a little bit. Try to think, what happened? How did I make that plural form? And then what would the singular form look like? So I'll just walk you through two of them and then give you time to work on this. We see los estudiantes is a plural form here. Now, is it estudiant and we added ES? Or is it estudiante and we just added S? Well, sometimes you just need to know the vocabulary. And then, of course, rule number one says L becomes los, la becomes las. So that L had to become a los, so L. And then the noun itself is estudiante, all right, ending with the vowel. So we just added an S to make it estudiantes. All right, on the other side of it, we are taking something like la amiga, la, L becomes los, la becomes las, amiga ending with a vowel. So we can just scroll back up and look at our rules. Rule number 2 says if the noun ends with a vowel, add S. All right, so you complete this table, singular and plural forms, and then you turn in this document. All right, this document should be complete all the way through. There's a couple tricky ones at the bottom. So be careful as you get to the bottom of the table. And as always, ask me your questions because you might have some.